Now, you might be thinking, okay, having a schedule is fine, but how do you know the right times to do things? How do you know what time should be in your schedule? Now, part of that is going to be a bit of experimenting. With Facebook, on your Facebook page, you will get a little bit of information from Facebook about when is a good time for you to post things, and that's great. If you're looking for Twitter, so one of the things I did earlier on in the week, oops. Oh, Jennifer, this is why it pays to have all your tabs lined up before you start. So, right, so this is what I did earlier. I used a tool called Follower Wonk. Now this is another freemium tool. So what I did here was I went into Analyze. I put in my own Twitter account. You can put in anyone's as long as they're not too big. Once you get too big, you want to analyze an account that should be big, then you need to go in and use the premium. But again, there's a 30-day free trial you can use as well. So I'm going to analyze their followers. So I don't want to know about who I'm following. I want to know about the people following me. So I'm just going to let that run for a second, and it's going to give me a little report. And what's nice about this is that it will tell me exactly the times that my followers are on Twitter. Here we go. Okay, so I can scroll down and I've got a nice little map of my followers, so where they're located worldwide, which is quite nice to see. And then I have this here. Okay, so I've got them all spread out. So what I did was, with this open, I went to Buffer. So here is my Buffer account with all of my accounts down the side here. And if I select schedule, here's where my times are. Now, I've taken my times recently down to 5 because of resource. So hopefully I'm going to boost that back up again, because I like to post about 9 times a day if I can. But if I'm allocating my time appropriately at the beginning of the week when I'm filling up my schedule for the week, then filling up 9 times a day can take a little bit of time. Now, one of the points I would make here, if that seems like a lot, one, please let me know, add a comment and let me know if you think that seems like a lot. But also, remember you can post the same thing a number of times, and you should, because look at this analysis. My followers are not on Twitter all day. They're coming in and out throughout the day at different times. So it's important that you spread messages out throughout the day, especially the important ones that you want people to see. If you are tweeting out one message once a day, 99% of your followers are not seeing it. So you need to maybe even just slightly tweak the wording, but you would put it out a couple of times throughout the day, and just make sure you've got other things coming out in between, so it doesn't look odd if people come to your profile and it's full of the same tweet. You wouldn't want that to happen. But you can, just with a couple of tweaks in the text, in the tweet itself, you can organize it so it doesn't look like that. So I just went through these times and tried to kind of pick 5 times I think fit well with that schedule, and that's what I've got now. Okay, so because I've got this set up already, those time slots are in there for all of these different accounts. It means that I can come here, read through the articles, select the ones I think my followers would find useful, and schedule. Now, if you're not using something like Feedly, if you're just on your own website, so if I went to teamtobees.com blog, or if you're on the BBC or Guardian, or you just happen to be reading an article anywhere on the web, then if you use Chrome, which I use here, I've got that little icon in the corner there. That's Buffer. That's a Buffer Chrome extension. So for example, I could be reading an article on my own blog or someone else's, and all I need to do to add this to the same schedule is click my little Buffer extension, and up pops that same box. So you can see here it's exactly the same process, and it's taking that steps out of the equation of copying and pasting and things. Now I'm using Buffer as the example because we've only got an hour, and I can't necessarily showcase all of the schedulers. But Hootsuite also has a Chrome extension. It also has, like I said, from Feedly, you can connect your Hootsuite account to Feedly. And Sprout Social also has an extension. And many of the other schedulers out there will have extensions to your browser so that you can do this kind of click, click, done option. And that's what I would recommend you do. This is all about getting a process that works for you. So Feedly is one of the places that I go. And if you're thinking, well, how do I add in the right content? How do I find the right things to add? Well, Feedly already has, surprisingly, from many, many resources. And all you need to do is type in a topic. So beauty. Okay, so I've got a number of blogs about beauty there. I could do the same with architecture, do the same with plumbing, and you should be able to go through this and find, relevant publications that talk about your subject. And if you have a publication in mind, so Education Guardian, for example, type in the full publication name and select it from the list. And if it's not there, just copy the website address in here, and it will pull the feed through for you. And you just want to start creating little collections for yourself, because you might not have only one topic, you might have a number of topics that you want to use. So that's one of the ways I collect valuable content together and make it less time consuming for me to find interesting and useful things to share. Because the thing about building a community on social media is that you might not have the resource to create content every day or even every week. If you want to keep your audience familiar with you and keep your branding in front of them, keep them interested in what you have to say, then you need to keep that visibility up. And part of keeping visibility up, if you don't have your own content to shout about, is just sharing things that your audience will find valuable so that they at least engage with you in some way throughout the week, from week to week. And then when you do have your own content to share, they're much more likely to engage with it. So don't be kind of curtailed by the fact that you don't have your own stuff. Look for reputable sources that you could also share.